everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is Sunday, September the 17th. This is chat number 333 titled RE-ENERGIZE with 3 Good Things. It is still September. It is fantastically chilly outside here in East Tennessee today. I hope the weather is fantastic where you are also. Thank you to everyone for the well wishes on my tooth issue. It's going great. We're going to talk about that here again in just a few minutes. But if you're brand new, please let us know because we would love to welcome you. This is an amazingly fantastic, welcoming and encouraging group of people. Hello. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Happy Sunday, Deanna. Good job on being the first one here. Hello, Carol Lou. Also, if you are watching this on Facebook, you can do thumbs ups and hearts. And hello, Catherine from Lowell, North Carolina. And you can give stars. We're about 39% into the star collection that we're trying to make to pay for some of the things that we use here for our chats. Let's see, we've got Anna. Hello, John from Home Base. Sarah is here. Hello from Raleigh, Massachusetts, and I am doing well, thank you. Lynn is here, and hello. Oh, yep, thank you, Catherine, very much. Let's see, and hello, Mary from Pittsburgh, and hello, Elaine. So again, Sunday, September the 17th. This is going well. We're going to talk about that here in just a few minutes. But if you're watching on Facebook, again, you can give thumbs ups, you can give hearts, you can share with other friends who are on Weight Watchers or who just need a little bit of help on their weight loss journey. It does not have to be Weight Watchers. They do not have to be an active member. If you are watching this on YouTube, or if you need to watch it later on YouTube, it's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. And you can see 332 other chats along with some recipes there. And let's see, we have Lisa from Arkansas, and yep, she's loving this weather. And hello, Sandra from Dingman's Ferry. So sorry if I'm talking a little bit odd. I feel like I still have just a little bit of a list trying to get used to this new hole in my head. I have plenty of other holes in my head, but so anyway, sorry, I just keep catching myself. I feel like I have just a tiny bit of a list, but we will get over that here in the next few weeks. Okay. So, this is Sunday, September the 17th. I am Kelly with If You Have an Egg. Thank you so much for all of the well wishes, all of the prayers. Hello, Sherry, for checking on me, for everyone hello, Debbie, who gave me advice on what to eat, how to handle it, you know, what to do. Thank you, everyone, so much. I will say that I am, oh wait, there's Deborah from Nelson County. Hello, how are you? I'm 6 days post-op, if you want to call it that. So 6 days post-op on the tooth extraction, and it's going great. I cannot, though, and hello, Julie, I cannot overemphasize, though, the importance of being prepared for this. So, and hello, Pat from Illinois. At first I thought that I was over-planning for this, and I was talking about it too much, and I was getting too much ready and just making too big of a deal out of this, but nope. This was probably one of the smartest moves that I've ever made as far as preparation goes. Did I prep too much food? Yes, I did. Did I get bored? No, I did not. John helped me make some fantastic choices on the couple of times that we've had to eat out since I had this done. But the food prep, did prep too much food, have not been bored, and it's okay. And Lisa says she had the same thing done to her chewing tooth, and she's still adjusting. Yeah, exactly. And let's see, was I ever worried about during the 6 days about having an option that would not aggravate the situation? No, because I had researched everything, checked it out, made sure, checked with you guys, got some great advice from you guys. I have not advanced to anything that's as small as rice or chia seeds or anything like that yet because of you all, because of your great advice. I am up to meatloaf and tater tot consistency now, though, so thank you again to you all for your advice. Did my plan of protein plus comfort come in clutch? Yes, it did. And I actually don't even know what that means, but one of the girls that works here says it all the time. So I've just been dying to use that phrase. But if somebody wants to explain what coming in clutch means, that would be great. But I feel like this is that situation. And then the last thing is, do I now have a strange love for polenta with a little bit of light butter and some honey? Definitely yes. So that is definitely a result of this. And hello, Sandra from Naperville. Good to see you. So that's a little bit of update on my tooth. It is going well. This preparation, I mean, it was crucial. It was essential. If I had not done this last couple of weeks of prepping, here with you all, during the chats, don't think I'd be in as good a position as I am today. Everything's going well, progressing nicely. I've not been bored with the food. It's going fantastically. So thank you again, to everyone who checked on me, checked to see how things were going, and also gave me some sage advice on what soft things to not eat yet. until I'm just a few more days into this. And hello, Sherry, it's good to see you. Okay, so I need to know last week. So I feel like I was gone, but I wasn't gone. I feel like I missed you all, but I didn't miss you all. It just, I don't know, it feels like it's been a lot longer than 6 days, but it has not. So I need to know who had, and yes, it's Sherry from Cape Coral, so yes, welcome Sherry. So who attended an in-person workshop last week? Give me a thumbs up. I did, even though it was the day after my extraction. I still went to an in-person workshop, so let's see some thumbs ups for that. Or if you attended a Zoom workshop, which I did both, let's see thumbs ups for that. And if you attended here with us live last week, or if you watched later on demand, let's see some hearts for that. Yep, and Sarah had another great online Weight Watchers workshop with Larry this morning. Yep, Mary's on board, Sarah's on board. Good job, everybody. Another Mary, or no, so say Mary. Mary was thumbs ups and hearts, and hello, Kim. So thumbs ups for in-person meetings or Zoom workshops, and hearts for attending here with us live last week or for watching later on demand. Yeah, there's lots of you all. So, oh, thank you, Carol Lou. So Carol Lou sent 235 stars. Thank you so much, Carol Lou. I really, really appreciate that. And it's a shame Alyssa's not here to see them. I'll have to show her because I can make them replay later. But thank you so much for sending stars. Anybody who's interested in what that is here on Facebook, you can send stars when we're doing a live chat or later. And it just helps to fund some of the many, many, many things that we do here to help out. So, and let's see, Deanna says she doesn't have a stars button. I'm not sure how that works because I can't see how to give them since I am the receiver of them. So if anybody wants to tell her how to do that, that would be fantastic. Awesome. And Catherine wants to know where you find a workshop that's on a Zoom meeting. And yeah, Trish was just getting ready to check in on you. So let's answer 2 quick questions. Well, first, bravo stickers to everybody who went to an in-person workshop, a Zoom workshop, or attended with us here. Debbie says the stars are in the comments, so y'all can go and check that out in the comments. Thank you very much, Debbie, for that information. And then 2 things I want to circle back around to. One is Trish. How are you doing now? So Trish's dental issue was the day after mine, if I'm not mistaken, and she had a slight complication and had to go on pureed food. So how is that going, Trish? Just let us know how that was. And then Catherine says, where do you find workshops or a Zoom meeting? So, Catherine, there's a couple of different places that you can go. If you are, well, first, are you an active Weight Watcher member? You can be on digital, online only, or you can already have a workshop. Just let me know, and I'll try to get that answered during the live chat. And if not, I will message you later. And I'm just making myself a mental note that you are Catherine, and I see you right there. Okay, so Catherine, unfortunately, you're going to have to answer more than yes because I think you're saying yes. Oh, yes, digital. Thank you so much, Catherine. Okay, if you're digital, you can go over to Connect. And then there are lots and lots and lots of places to find digital workshops, to find Zoom workshops. You can get some Weight Watchers coaching just simply from the app. There are a couple of places to go to look for the coaching. But if you want to attend the same Zoom meeting that I do, you'll go to the Knoxville group. And I can kind of walk you through that later, but you can just go to Weight Watchers, the Weight Watchers app, go to Connect, and then search for the West Knoxville group. And it'll come up that it's Gwen is our leader, and those are a Thursday night. Those are a Thursday night chat, and we chat from about 6 to 6:30, 6 to 6:30, and then 6:30 to 7, or 6 to 6:30 is about when we chat. And Karina wants to know why they're closing so many physical workshops. Weight Watchers is here for our support, but it's also a for-profit business, and if a location doesn't make profit, they cannot keep that up. So, okay, and let's see. Okay, so let's get going on our chat, and yeah, Catherine's going to try to find it. So I'll be there Thursday night. Sometimes Mindy is there if Mindy is here. Lynn is there often. Mary is there often. We've got several. Chris is there. We've got several of our people that come here to the chats are on that Thursday night group, and it's so fun because like there are only maybe half of the people on the Thursday night Zoom meeting with Gwen that actually live in Knoxville or East Tennessee, and the rest of them are you all or Mindy's girls from South Carolina who are who are just out and about. And I do not know the answer to that question, Julie. Julie wants to know if you're digital only and you want to go to a Zoom meeting, is there an extra charge? I don't think so. If you have digital, you should be able to go to the Zoom meetings. You should be able to, and you will know once you go to connect, you'll know if you go to connect and then go to that West Knoxville group and join it. If it lets you join that group, you have access. Oh, and hello, Alyssa and Bo say night night. So Alyssa and Bo must be watching the chat. But night night, Alyssa and Bo, love you too, love you one. That's an insider joke. But anyway, so no, it shouldn't be any extra. Okay, last week was chat number 332, and we were talking about the joy in movement, and I warned you all at the beginning of that one that if you thought, oh, it's going to be another chat about exercise, that no, it was not. We were talking about finding joy in any movement, and any movement could be just getting up and removing yourself to a different space. It could be exercising. It could be hiking with your grandkids like we had done the week before that. I mean, it could be anything, any kind of movement. Weight Watchers was not trying to undervalue the need for things like, if you're just having a bah humbug or just a blah, day. Okay, and a bunch of y'all are asking about that, so I'm going to check with Mindy because, hello, Kathy. Mindy should be able to help me with that answer when she gets here, or if not, I will check and see if Gwen knows the answer to the digital only question. But I don't think that's true. But I will try to find that answer for you all. And I tell you what, when I find the answer, I will post it tomorrow within this chat, or unless Mindy pops on here tonight. I do not remember what they were doing this weekend. I can't remember if she was going to be able to be here tonight or not, but if she's not, then I will circle back tomorrow and I will post this in these comments, so y'all can just come back to these comments tomorrow and check to see what the status of that is. But remember, I said last week that movement doesn't have to equal sweat. It could just be relocating yourself to to another situation or to another space, or to somewhere else, or you could be sweating. It could be either one. But the definition, Merriam-Webster says the definition of movement is the act or process of moving, especially change of place or position or posture, or a particular instance or manner of moving. So it doesn't have to be, moving. It could just be moving to a different space. So moving a little bit, whether you're being active, if you're just changing to a different space, if you're just changing, your physical location, going from one room to the other, it can bust a bad mood. So last week we were talking about busting that bad mood. We were talking about, just being in a, kind of a funk, kind of just a grouchy, bad, black cloud, kind of mood, and what you could do to get out of that. So, things like walking your new puppy, or just moving to a different room, or actually exercising, or taking your grandchildren on a hike that involved water. Your homework, though, last week was #BadMoodBusted, even though I think Casey put bad mood. I can't remember what she put for the hashtag. It wasn't quite right, but you all understood what she meant. So #BadMoodBusted was your homework for last week, and let's see how y'all did. So Trish, I gave you credit for your homework because she busted her bad mood by scooting over to a local grocer to grab some bone broth to prep for her own dental surgery, and I hope you actually did that. You talked about going, so hopefully you did that, Trish. Bone broth was a #bulk it up savior this week to add to mashed potatoes, like instant mashed potatoes, and to several things that I was eating. Lynn was just in kind of a funk this week, and she didn't feel like doing much, but her son called and said he and her grandson were headed that way, and so she moved her bum, got up, changed her position, and not only did she bust her mood before they got there, her house got a little freshen up before they made it too. Okay, and and Sandra says now that it's cooling off, she's able to sit on her balcony, and hearing the wind chimes and seeing her twinkle lights makes her smile. Perfect, Sandra. That is a perfect way to change your position and bust that bad mood. And then Deanna and her hubby are apparently competitive, and she was not going to work out the other day, but when he announced that he was, she busted a bad mood by popping in some Leslie Sansone. How many of you all use Leslie Sansone to get up and bust a bad mood and get a little bum busting at the same time? And hello, Hattie, it's good to see you. So good job to everyone who did their homework. Good job, good job. Good job for just making a little movement to help, bust that bad mood. This week, we're going to continue along a similar theme theme, and we're going to talk about re-energizing with 3 good things. After this topic posted last week on Weight Watchers, I asked John to list 3 things that had happened that day that just made him happy. So just 3 things. I said, hey, you know, we talked about this at Weight Watchers tonight. What are 3 things? And hello, Jonna. What are 3 things that happened today that made you happy? And he said his answer was nothing. Nothing. He said nothing about that day made him happy at all. You've ever been there? Have you ever had a day or days that were like that? You had an overwhelming schedule. Maybe you had a long commute. You had never-ending meetings about how long the never-ending meetings take. How could you find anything happy about that day? Okay, I mean, you know, how could you find anything happy about it? So 3 fast facts from Weight Watchers. The first one is, and hello Donna from Canada, the first one is press pause. So Weight Watch science says, and Weight Watchers agrees, that taking a moment to intentionally press pause, to intentionally say, pause, hold on for a second, and notice some good things, you know, some good things around you, happening to you, just something that happened that day that just made you happy. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, but they say taking a moment to press pause, intentionally press pause, and notice those good things, some of those good things, is a great way to practice gratitude. And the more often you do it, the more automatic that behavior becomes. So, you know, we've talked about this a lot, that the more, you know, like habits form, habits form, habits form, habits form. But when you practice gratitude and practice some of these other things, you form new neural pathways. Every time you do this, every time you repeat these behaviors, you form a new neural pathway. And so the more you pause, intentionally pause, and then think of these good things and practice gratitude, the stronger those neural pathways become, and then the more automatic that behavior becomes, okay? And let's see. Oh, sorry. Donna and Sarah are talking. Okay, I didn't mean to get... That's okay. So, Sarah says a prayer came up. That is A-okay. You know, I'm all about that. Okay, second thing is focus on the big picture. Repetitious gratitude. So, like we talked about in the first fast fact, repetitious gratitude on the little things. So that means finding little things. They don't have to be big, but finding little things and practicing gratitude towards them helps us focus on the happiness to be found in the big things. So you're not going to have every day. You might, but every day doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have this huge, wonderful, happy thing. Like you're not going to win the lottery every day. You're not going to have a perfect day at work every day. You're not going to have perfect children or grandchildren, although the grandchildren are perfect. They are perfect every day. But you know what I mean? You can't have, or you're not going to have, shouldn't say can't, you probably are not going to have this huge, grand, happy thing happen every single day. So when you practice, when you have repetitious gratitude on the little things, it helps us to focus on the happiness to be found in the bigger things. Or sometimes the gratitude you can find in the little things, a lot of those add up to a big thing. Okay, so practice on that. And then the last fast fact from Weight Watchers is being grateful, aka happy. Being grateful or happy improves our ability to overcome a challenge, to cope with a setback, and it can actually reframe how we feel about our day. So do you all know anybody that just seems happy all the time? You're just like, man, they're in their own little world. They just seem happy all the time. So raise your hand if you know somebody like that. And I will say my fearless leader Gwen is like that. She's just a happy person. So raise your hand if you know somebody who just seems perpetually happy. So I'm going to raise my hand because I do. So Deanna's got her hand up. Or if you're the person, if you're the perpetually happy person, maybe raise 2 hands. But I'm going to raise mine because I do know somebody. Gwen. I actually know a couple of people. Lynn. Sandra. Yeah. A lot of y'all, me included, know somebody who's just happy all the time. Catherine's got like tick, 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 tick. Catherine's got a lot of people. Sarah's been told that she's too happy. Sarah, okay, you can't be too happy, but you know, even though I've never met you in person, I can kind of tell that about you just from the things that you post when we're here, you know, during the chats. Sherry's got her hand up. Kim's got her hand up. Okay, so I think all of us probably know somebody who is perpetually happy. And do you know why they're perpetually happy? Do you think they were born that way? Do you think everything good happens to them every day? No, they choose to be happy. So they practice gratitude. They practice finding gratitude, and like Sarah just said, a good attitude. So they practice gratitude in the little things. They, you know, and when things go. Everyone has bad days. Everyone has things that don't go as planned. But if you just try to reframe, refocus and reframe how you react about that, or how you feel about it, or find those little things, it can completely change you into that happy person. So again, that fast fact from Weight Watchers was being grateful, aka happy, improves our ability to overcome a challenge. So it actually improves your ability to be able to overcome some of those challenges. It helps you to cope with a setback. So when you do have a setback, being happy, it doesn't mean you have to like it. So, you know, just because, you know, whatever it is that happened, you don't have to like it, but trying to be happy about it, trying to practice that gratitude, you know, it can help you cope with that setback and actually reframe how we think about our day. So remember at the beginning of this section when I said that I had asked John, what are 3 things that you are happy about today? And he said, nothing. I'm not happy. There was nothing that made, or what made you, 3 things that made you happy today. And he said, nothing. Nothing made me happy today. So he had that day of disappointment. He had that day of people disappointing him. He had that day of no-shows. He had that day of too many phone calls, too much going on, blah, 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 long drive, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And he had the excruciatingly long meeting about why excruciatingly long meetings happen, okay? So it was hard for him to find 3 things. So after we talked about some of the other events for the day, he did not come up with 3 things, okay? He still did not come up with 3 things that made him happy. Nope, he came up with 5 things that made him happy. And the funny thing was, 2 of the things that made him happy that day were 2 of the things that I had on my list. So after he stopped and thought about it, because again, it didn't have to be big, and practicing gratitude and practicing being happy about things doesn't mean that you had to have some big grand thing happen. But once he kind of broke it down into the little things, he found 5 little things that made him very happy that day. And while finding the 5 small things that actually did make him happy, it didn't necessarily resolve those problems, but it left us both feeling much better about the big picture results for that day. Okay, does that make sense? Because you know that's going to be your homework. So your homework for this week is 3 good things. It is hashtag 3 good things, and you can either do the number 3 or you can do THREEGOODTHINGS. Hashtag 3 good things. And I want you to raise your hand now if you're thinking, yeah, I had that day. I was in that meeting. I had that long commute. I had a flat tire. I had a flat tire. I had a dead battery. I had on and on and on and on and on. But thank you, Lynn, for posting that. And the nothing went right day, you know, whatever that I was telling you about in John's story, then immediately do your homework. Do your homework. Do not wait. I want you to write down 3 things that made you happy. I promise if you break it down into the little things, you will find at least 3 things that actually made you happy that day. And do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. And you doing your homework and posting your homework might be the little thing that somebody else needs to make them happy that day, okay? Lots of times you all doing your homework, that is what keeps me going, okay? So do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. So hashtag 3 good things. I want you to think about them, find those 3 little things. Do that as your homework. You can tag me on Instagram. It's just at IfYouHaveAnEgg. You can post them on YouTube. So when these YouTube videos get posted here in a day or 2, that's youtube.com, search IfYouHaveAnEgg. You can just write in the comments what the 3 good things were. You can post them here on Facebook. You can tag me if we're here on the page. You're just going to tag at IfYouHaveAnEgg. Oh, and see, Sarah's already thought of 4. That's why she's just a generally happy person. Okay, she's already come up with 4 things. Or you can go to connect. You can tag me at IfYouHaveAnEgg. You can tag me there too. Or if you're over in our closed group, you can tag at Kelly Green Milligan, and I will get tagged. I'll get notified there too. So 3 good things. 3, just 3. Okay, Sarah's already found 4. John didn't think he had any. He found 5. Okay, I can promise you, even on a day when you have a tooth extracted, feel weird driving home, you know, I was thankful that day. You know what made me happy the day that I had my tooth out? What is that stuff called? Nitrous. Is that what it's called? Nitrous oxide or whatever. That made me so happy. That made me so happy on Monday. Yeah. That was my little thing. That was one of my 3 little things that made me so happy on Monday, was that nitrous oxide. That was such a huge help. And I don't know if you know this or not, but the adult tooth fairy had to come Monday night because, and we will go to the second half here in a second, but the adult tooth fairy had to come Monday night because Alyssa still spent the night with us, even though I had this done. She had a tooth come out Thursday because, you know, she has to copy me because we're like twinsies. She had a tooth come out Thursday, and the tooth fairy, hello Sylvia, and the tooth fairy left her stickers because her mom and I agreed that the tooth fairy is not going to start this cash thing, okay? And we're not getting into that. And she's really not a cash girl. Anyway, she was tickled to death over the stickers, but she wanted me to bring my tooth home. And I was like, yeah, adult tooth fairy, I don't know what you're going to do, but Alyssa's got plans. And we put my tooth under my pillow Monday night. So one of the things that made me happy Monday, nitrous oxide. The second thing that made me happy Monday night, so tickled that Alyssa wanted me to bring home the giant tooth that had been pulled that day out of my head and put it under my pillow so that she could see the tooth fairy. And guess what the tooth fairy, and hello Marianne, guess what the tooth fairy brings adults that have teeth extracted and bother to put them under their pillow? Yeah, scratch off lottery tickets. So I didn't win anything, but it was super fun, super cute. So anyway, we woke up Tuesday morning and there were 4 $1 scratch off lottery tickets under my pillow. So good job, adult tooth fairy, at my house. Okay, whew, we are at the halfway point. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some water. This is the most talking I've done since I've had my tooth pulled, and I'm a little dry over there. So everybody stop and grab you some water. If you're new, you don't know, and Sandra, thank you very much for that reminder. And hello, Melissa, it's good to see you. So Sandra, thank you for the reminder. And if you all didn't know, this is the only time during the week that I know that you actually drink some water, okay? Y'all are on your own the whole rest of the week. So everybody stop and get your drink of water right now. I'm gonna drink mine. Again, a little dry still from the extraction. Not sucking hard on that straw, since we're not supposed to be drinking out of with a straw yet. And oh, Ibden is here from Indonesia. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so tooth extraction went well. If you weren't here with us, you know, earlier, everything's going great. Still taking some precautions, not sucking hard on straws, not drinking things that are super hot. Being very gentle around my tooth, you know, while I'm brushing, and I am still eating very soft food. So if I know y'all are getting tired of hearing about my tooth, ha ha ha, but I think this was extremely important for me. This so helped me this last 6 days, and I know it will help me going into next week. Excuse me, while I'm still eating, you know, soft food, because I still have, you know, basically an open wound over here. I know Trish was prepared for her dental surgery, so she's doing well. I know a couple of you have had, you know, have had procedures done. You had them done in the past, or you're getting ready to. I don't know. I just think it was a really good topic. It's not just for dental surgery. It's for, you know, anybody that's getting ready to have, and I still can't remember that procedure, the esophageal thing, you know, where they kind of stretch your esophagus for swallowing, or any other kind of surgery, or a stroke, or anything like that. So I think just from the feedback that I've gotten, this has been a really good topic. Plus, I still have a freezer full of things and a cabinet full of things that I can use for other times. There's nothing wrong with them just because they're soft. And Sarah wants to know, how does the nitrous oxide make you feel during the happy? It just makes you feel happy. Like I just didn't care. just really didn't care. The only comment I will make though is they have televisions at our dentist office above where you're at, and they had it on HGTV Barbie Dream House, and all I can tell you is at some point I remember thinking, does that house have a handle on top? And I asked them that, and they were like, yeah, it's a Barbie dream house. And I thought, okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't imagining that, because of the nitrous. But yeah, it just makes you happy. Yeah. Okay. So I promise we're going to stop talking about my tooth. No, there were no after effects at all. Well, other than feeling fuzzy for a little while, but no. And they gave me, yes, and Myrna, it is called laughing gas because it didn't make me laugh, but it made me very happy, very happy. But we will stop talking about my tooth next week. This week, though, still just doing some wrap up from that. If you've watched, because having the tooth extracted did not even, I like prepping for that was important for this week, the week coming up to this, the week after having it done, and this next week, and then it could peter off. But I will tell you that prepping some different things, having them in the freezer, having them ready, having some simple things to put together, that has been crucial for me. I don't know if you've watched many of our 300 plus videos, then you know that I struggle with eating lunch while I'm at work. The struggle, it leaves me hungry. So, you would think, hello, Joycelyn. So you would think that not eating lunch at work would leave me hungry and probably irritable. Okay, it's true, it does. But what it also does is it leaves me hungry, it leaves me irritable, it leaves me with bitter feelings. I can't explain it. I'm just like, everybody else got to eat lunch. I bet everybody else went out and had lunch, and they all sat down, and used a real, fork and a knife, and they all got to have lunch, and I didn't get to have lunch. So when I say bitter, it leaves me bitter. So hungry, irritable, and bitter. It leaves me heading home, going into my kitchen with all right, some trouble's coming, attitude. And I definitely have that attitude, or have that look in my eyes like, all right, I'm looking for something, and I don't know what it is yet, but trouble is coming. And it leaves me with a lack of desire to track that meal, that day, sometimes the next day. It's not pretty, but I do recognize it as a strong issue that I'm still working on, and to overcome for future success. So I knew having my tooth extracted was just gonna set me up for weight loss death spiral. Okay. In addition to the terrifying thought of a dry socket. I mean, I had worked myself, yes, and Debbie's exactly right. It's all about the hangry feeling, all of that. And hangry for me comes with a whole lot of, things, a whole lot of feels. But when I say that I was nervous about the after, and hello, Melvie, it's good to see you. I was less worried about having it done as I was all of this that was going to come after. I kept waking up at night and thinking, was I supposed to take an antibiotic or not? Am I done with my antibiotic? Do I still need to be taking that? What can I eat? Should I eat rice? Should I not eat rice? Should I do this? Should I not do that? Just on and on and on and on and on, trying, like second guessing everything that was getting ready to happen. And I mean, I was seriously waking up like the whole night before. I probably woke up every hour, like not freaking out, but, not really able to go back to sleep, worried about what was going to happen. So you already know that last week, 2 weeks ago, from last week that I did plan. I prepped, which I'm not normally a prepper, and I pulled the trigger on success like I never have before, okay? It was critical to making sure that I didn't just eat ice cream and wallow in self-pity all week, because that could have happened. I mean, it was on the table. I already had another fellow tooth extraction person here in Knoxville. Her name's Alex, and she gave me a lot of advice because she was like 4 days ahead of me on having hers done. She was like, meet you for ice cream? And I totally could have done that. She was kidding, but it would have been really easy just to eat ice cream this last 6 days and not eat some actual food. So this was critical to making sure that I didn't just live on ice cream and just wallow around and, oh, poor me, my mouth, whatever. Okay. So part of that success, though, was the tools that I enlisted. And if you go back and look at last week's chat on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, Casey posted just a partial kind of a quick list menu, And the quick list menu has the easy things to, like to have stocked. It includes a few of the kind of the recipes that I used, and then it also lists some of the tools that I used to be able to make this a success. So you can go back to last week's chat on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and find that. She's going to post that list again, I think, this week, in case you're only here, for this week. Oh no, and Debbie said, and I probably would have only eaten the ice cream one time because the coldness would have hurt too bad. And she's exactly right about that. I've still tried to not do really hot or really cold. Still doing that. Okay, so part of that success, part of the tools that I enlisted, so I used my Instant Pot, and it was great for making, I think it's Carol Lou that said, she's not a huge fan of the Instant Pot because it makes everything mushy. This was a perfect time to use the Instant Pot because it makes everything mushy. Like the sweet potato, the mashed sweet potatoes, perfection, absolute perfection in the Instant Pot. The polenta, like I said, I have a new addiction to polenta. And let's see, one of the ladies in the Thursday night Zoom meeting said it's called, I'm not going to say it right, Malaga? No, Mamaliga. I think she said it's called Mamaliga. I'm just going to start calling it that because that sounds more fun than polenta. But a newfound love of polenta with a little bit of light butter and some honey. Perfect in the Instant Pot. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Some of the things I processed in the food processor. So I had several tools that the immersion blender, I used it quite a bit to make my the protein pudding that Melissa taught me how to make, and to make my smoothies. Yeah, so that was perfect. But one of the tools that I enlisted, I see this helping me in these lunchtime issues. So not having time for lunch, not having anything ready for lunch, not knowing what I'm going to eat for lunch, whatever. So I've kind of conquered this, having an assortment of things in the freezer here at work ready to go or ready to prepare. But one of the things that has helped me this last 6 days, and I swear it feels like it's been longer than 6 days. Okay. Because it's only been like, at least 18 meals, but more probably like about 24 meals, just because I had an extra, like a snacky something, some of those days. But one of the things that helped me a ton with those, and I think it's going to help me in this continuing, eat lunch at work thing, is one of these little crock pots. So several of you all have talked in the past about having your little kind of a personal crock pot either at work or at home. And like Carol Lou, are you still working from home, Carol? I know Debbie works from home. Pretty sure Carol's still working from home. Trish has one of these, I think, but several of you all have talked in totally other topics, situations, not even talking about making soft things, but about these little personal crock pots. So this one it's a personal crock pot lunch box is what it's called. It is a crucial part of that success. I think it's going to be great for my ongoing success. I'm going to give you some, let's see, Carol works from home 2 days now. I'm back in the office 3 days a week. Okay, so are you transporting that? Are you using this to transport food? Because you can. I mean, Carol knows that, but I'm going to give you a few important details. We're going to do I did a little Egg Lady Labs test today to give you all some more information. And then if we have time, then I'll wrap up with some product features and, a couple of how-to things on this little crock pot. So while there are several styles, colors, features, and they are warm when they're cooking, while there are several styles, colors, features of these, I chose the actual crock pot brand. So mine is made by Crockpot. There are other brands, but I got that one. And then I chose it in this lovely green because it complements the showroom, the decor here in our showroom at Casey Kitchen Center. So I did not feel bad about leaving it out, those 6 days, about leaving it out and letting it warm up my food. Okay, so because it goes well with everything. They had a lot of colors. They had like white with green, a really pretty blue, like a dusty blue color, kind of a dusty pink, white. I don't remember. There was there's like a tan color now. But anyway, so several different colors to choose from. An important note, this is a food heater, not a food cooker, okay? So this is just for heating food. This is not a crock pot slow cooker. like to make food. So you're not going to want to put anything raw in there, uncooked. This is not cooking, it's just heating. Another comment is as long as it's plugged up. So mine is currently plugged up. As long as it's plugged up, it is still heating. Okay, so if you leave it plugged up, it's going to continue to stay hot. Just wanted you to know that. Okay, so first thing I thought was, is this a safe way? It's just a food heater. It's not a food cooker. Is this a safe way to reheat my lunch? You know, that was a thought that came up. I don't know. So I asked the USDA. Yeah, and they were kind enough to answer. I'm just kidding. I found it on their website. So according to the United States Department of Agriculture, and I quote, and I'm going to read this so that I get it correct, foods that have been cooked and cooled should be reheated to at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, but heat cooked, commercially vacuum sealed, ready to eat foods such as ham and roast, things like that, you know, processed, canned, commercially prepared, only have to be reheated up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Then they want you to reheat leftovers thoroughly to at least 165 degrees, and sauces, soups, and gravies, if there's a way to boil them, you know, that's good. And then I put the link to this information in the notes so that will be published when Casey publishes this here in a couple of days. So according to the USDA, if you're going to do it on the stove top, you just place the food in a pan and heat it thoroughly. The food should reach at least 165 degrees on a food thermometer when safely reheated. If you're going to do it in an oven, place the food in an oven set no lower than 325, and again, use a food thermometer. Hold on a second. Debbie says, just make sure if you were using those in an office, you follow your company's guidelines for appliances. Some large companies require plant ops to approve those items. Are you serious? Okay, well, it's only me to deal with here. So Debbie says, apparently some companies, you have to run it through their plant operations people before you can use an appliance like this. So yeah, just keep that in mind. That's good to know. And then in the microwave, stir, cover, and rotate fully cooked food, you know, for heating, blah, blah, blah. But then it said not recommended slow cooker, steam tables, or chafing dishes. Reheating leftovers in slow cookers, steam tables, or chafing dishes is not recommended because foods may stay in the danger zone between 40 degrees and 140 degrees for too long, and bacteria multiply rapidly at these temperatures. Uh-oh. Whoops. So did I just mess up? Oh, yeah, Lynn says they couldn't use them at the prisons. Wow, that's crazy. I've never worked in a situation like that, but that's good to know. So, uh-oh, did I mess up all last week? Is Carol Lou messing up? You know, whatever. But what is the danger zone? So I went back to my friends at the USDA. Remember, they didn't actually talk to me, okay? But I went back to my friends at the USDA and asked, what is the danger zone, USDA? What is that? So the range of temperatures, 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, is often called the danger zone. That's why the Meat and Poultry Hotline advises consumers to never leave food out of the refrigeration for over 2 hours. If the temperature is above 90 degrees, food should not be left out for more than an hour. So here was the product testing that I did. So I asked my friend Carol Lou, who uses one of these almost every day, or she did when she was, working from home, to heat up her lunch, and she gave me some tips before I got started. I took those tips and then I did some of my own testing to confirm that this little beauty would work for me if I'm going to continue to use this here at work, that it would work for you, and that it would reheat our lunches safely and within the USDA guidelines. And here is what I found. First thing, I used a heat-cooked, commercially vacuum sealed in a can, commercially vacuum sealed, ready to eat food. Remember, that was in the USDA guidelines for this test because we only had to be able to get it to 140 degrees. Okay, so remember that was part of their guidelines. I also, for this test, I used 3 different cans of chicken and star soup, so that it would all be the same. So I wouldn't have one thing that was thick, one thing that was thin, one thing that was, whatever. So these all started, it's exactly the same soup from I have 3 Campbell soup cans, so that they'll be so that the test, that part of the test is exactly the same. I used one can, was just room temperature, so I just left it, you know, sitting out at room temperature. One unopened, I did not open it. One can was, I put it in the refrigerator, so I had one can room temperature, one can a refrigerated temperature, one can was frozen. So same soup, it started at 3 different temperatures, and this is what I found. Each one of them was heated in this same crock pot. So it was heated in the crock pot brand electric lunchbox. And remember, this is not cooking food, it's just heating food. And the time and temperature, I tested the time and temperature, and these are my results. Okay, the can that started out at room temperature, it only took 45 minutes for it to and I measured the temperature, so it only took 45 minutes for the room temperature can of soup to reach almost 150 degrees. And remember, the guideline was 140. So it was a little above the USDA recommended internal temperature, and it was a lot under that 2-hour danger zone. Okay, so room temperature soup out of a can passed the test in this little puppy at 45 minutes. Test number 2 was the same type, consistency, volume, you know, of the chicken and star soup, and it was at a refrigerated temperature, and it surprisingly only took another 30 minutes. So it was a total of 1 hour and 15 minutes to reach almost 160 degrees. So the USDA would be proud. 160 degrees, so that's well over the 140 degree recommended degrees, and it was, you know, so it's under the 2 hours and well above the temperature. Okay, the third test, you all are going to help me now. So I took a can of chicken and star soup, same volume, same soup, same everything, and I froze it. Okay, by this time now in the chat, we're about 20 minutes away. That's why I keep glancing up. I put up a clock so that I could actually keep up with this. So we are 20 minutes away from the 2-hour mark. So the 2-hour danger zone. We're 20 minutes away from that, but we're going to check it out together. So I'm just going to take the lid off. So it has an internal lid and an external lid. So I'm going to take that off. And remember, we're still 20 minutes away from the 2 hours, and I'm going to stir it a little bit, and we're going to check it with this thermometer and see what we get. So this is going to be the internal temperature of the soup. Do remember, Vicki, yes, so Vicki, that's a great question. So I did 1 can of the chicken and stars, and then I added a half of a can of water, because chicken and star soup, if you don't know this, it is a condensed soup, and right here it says condensed. So I did 1 can of soup, and then I did a half of a can of water to that, since it is a condensed soup. Okay, so this was started out frozen, and we are 20 minutes away. We are 20 minutes away from the 2-hour mark. Okay, we're already over 140. We'll see if it keeps going. We're at 148. It's right at 150. Okay, so the frozen soup is going to, it's going to max out, looks like it's going to max out at about 150, which again is still above the USDA guideline. What's the 2-hour danger zone? Never heard that. Oh, no, Carol. No, not the danger zone in the crock pot. That's for having food that's been out for that's under 140 degrees. So this is 10 degrees. So the frozen version of this is 10 degrees above the USDA guidelines, and we're still under that 2-hour mark. So Carol, what the 2-hour danger zone was, when I went to the USDA website, it said not to reheat food in a slow cooker, because it would be would be too long for something that's already been cooked. It's already, you know, whatever, not to do that. So I just wanted to test and see, is this getting things over 140 degrees in under the 2 hours? So I really wasn't that worried about it, but I thought it would be a fun little experiment to do. Okay, so it's worked. So it worked all three: room temperature, refrigerated temperature, and frozen. All of them in under 2 hours were well above 140 degrees, and it was under the 2 hours. Okay, so let me show you a couple of features of this, since we still have about, I probably won't talk the whole 10 minutes just because, again, this is the most I've talked and my mouth's getting a little bit sensitive, but I wanted to give you just a few little tips about this. Again, while this is plugged in, it's still cooking. Okay, so it unplugs here, and this is hot, so don't touch the top of it. So it unplugs there, and it unplugs from the wall. When you are ready to pack this up, like if you want to pack this up and take it with you, this little handle, I'm going to go ahead and put the inside back on here. I can't really, I guess I can bring you all over here for just a second. When you put the internal little pot in here, please don't put any liquids in there without this little removable insert in here. No liquids without the insert, okay? You also have to line it up so that this little nubby is sticking up. That is just going to keep that from moving around and sloshing. And I'm going to use my spoon to point, since I don't want to touch this because it's hot. That is the maximum fill line. So can you all see that? That is the maximum fill line on that. So always use the little removable insert. Always put it on that little pin and never fill it above that, or you're going to have a problem. Okay, then this is the internal seal, and it just twists on there. So you just twist that on there, and then and it has a nice little seal on it, and then it has this little pop-up thing, so push the little pop-up thing down so that it doesn't spill while you're transporting it. And then this is the outside lid. Oops, hold on. I'm trying to look at you all and do this too, and I just put it on there crooked. Okay, so you're gonna put the little outside one on, and then it has this cute little handle so you can transport this with you. If you are going to be plugging it in after you get to work or wherever you're going, it has a little thing underneath here where you can wind this up. You can wind this up and put it underneath here, and you can take it with you. So I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but it's got a little place to wind up the cord and take it with you. So you can store it in the refrigerator if you want to. You can get your food prepped the night before. And let's see, Carol Lou says she loaded up her insert tonight with some soup to take to work tomorrow, and she'll add it to her lunch bag for work tomorrow, and she leaves the cooker part. Oh, okay. That's actually great. That's actually great advice. So what Carol Lou did is she's left the cooker part, she leaves the cooker part and the cord at work, and then she just takes the insert, and that's what she puts her food in, puts it in her lunch bag, and then takes it with her. Perfect. That's actually a great pro tip, Carol. I wanted to point out a couple of other things that are in the Crock-Pot user manual. Some very important things. One is this is not to be used by children. This is so cute. It is so little and cute that would be tempted to hand it to your children to take to school. It is not to be used for children. I can tell you this is still very warm, very warm. I would not send that to school with your children, with your young children. It does have do not open the steam vent valve during use, because the steam can result in burns. Use caution removing that inner vessel, because it will always be hot. So that inner kind of stainless steel removable vessel in there is going to be hot. Yeah, so don't touch it. Okay, this one was funny. Intended for household countertop use only. Keep 6 inches clear from the wall and on all sides. Always use appliance on a dry, stable, level surface. I don't know who's using this in a not household situation. I mean, this is not really a mass produced, like you can't make lots of meals with these. So yeah, so it's not really for that. Don't add like frozen. Okay, so when I did the frozen or the refrigerated soup, I'll let this completely cool off. Do not do any sudden temperature changes, so you wouldn't want this to already be hot and then put something that's frozen in there. But the one point that I want to make is I was shocked by this. Okay, not shocked, but I preach this to people every single day here in the showroom, and I'm going to preach it to you even though you're not buying countertops, probably not buying countertops from me. This is the first time I've seen this in an appliance manufacturer's handbook. Notice, some countertop and table surfaces are not designed to withstand the prolonged heat generated by certain appliances. Do not set the heated unit on a finished wood table. We recommend placing a hot pad or trivet under your lunch crock to prevent possible damage to the surface. I'm going to say, as a provider of countertops, the #1 provider of countertops in Knox County, I wish, do not set hot things like this directly on your brand new quartz countertops, okay? I have mine sitting on a cutting board. You could put it on some other level, dry surface, and it would work fantastically. You could put this directly on granite if you wanted to. Okay, so those are my tips and tricks for that. I will be putting all of this back in the freezer because I'm probably a couple of days away from feeling comfortable eating something with little teeny tiny noodles like chicken and stars. I'm not far from there, but I'm probably a couple of more days away from that. But thank you all for indulging me and listening so much about prepping for my tooth. I really do still think that it was great information. I'm telling you, the polenta, y'all gotta make some. You've got to make some polenta. And if anybody knows if I'm saying that right, Mama Liga, that's how I think you say it. Oh my gosh, it is fantastic. But I hope you all enjoyed tonight. I hope you got some useful tips and tricks. I'll put the link to this in the notes, and and all of those tips and tricks will be there. Casey has the links to all of that posted last week in IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and I think she's going to post those again this week. But yeah, y'all have a great evening and a great week. I'm feeling fantastic. Thank you all so much for checking on me. If you are watching this on YouTube, please let that next video go ahead and roll over so you'll see what I'm talking about. And go ahead and click on subscribe. I would love to have you. Yeah, y'all have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Good night.